Hey everybody, welcome back to the Fin Factor. I'm Paul.
And I'm Aaron.
This is episode number 239, and it is a strange one for us, Aaron, because it's not live. It is a recorded show. We're not used to doing these anymore, but this week, since there are no games, we decided to find something else to do, and we had the opportunity to interview 3 Sharks players.
Yeah, first one up we have is Jack Thompson. We got to catch up with him after practice and ask him a few questions, and he was quite the lively fellow. So here's Jack Thompson's questions and answers.
Okay, so we're here with Jack Thompson, defenseman for the San Jose Sharks here. Aaron's actually going to go over a few stats first before we start asking some questions. Aaron, fire away.
Sure. Let's see. This year, you played 17 games for both the Barracuda and the Sharks, which is crazy. That's right there.
Yeah.
The Barracuda, you have 2 goals and 7 assists, and the Sharks, you have 2 goals and 3 assists. I'd say you're fairly consistent.
Yeah.
And last year, you had 16 games played, almost 17, and a goal and 8 assists. So again, pretty consistent.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Pretty weird anomaly.
Yeah, it's definitely different. It's been the first year, where I've spent half and half with the NHL and AHL. So it's definitely new for me, but I'm enjoying it, enjoying the experience, and it's been great.
Nice, awesome. So I want to go back a little bit more than a decade ago, unfortunately for you. Brick Invitational. I noticed this. I was looking at some stats from some of the players that we've been talking to today, and Brick Invitational came up in every single one of them. On this game, in this tournament rather, you actually played against Collin Graf.
Yeah.
I don't know did you know that?
Yeah, we did. I used to grow up playing against Graf in summer tournaments and stuff when we were kids. So I knew of him at a young age. And the Brick Invitational, it's a great tournament. I think if you look at a lot of the people, it's kind of crazy how old we are when we're playing in that, and then how many guys actually do end up making it. It's pretty cool. So I was grateful enough to play in that, and it was an amazing experience.
Nice. So there was at least one game where you guys did play each other in that tournament. Do you remember what the score was? Or not the score. How about this? Just who won? Let's put it that way.
I'm going to say... I'll say we won.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
That's good. I'll ask him. He'll tell me the other story. That's okay.
Okay.
Fire away. Go ahead.
You came originally from the Lightning organization, but you only played 1 game for Tampa Bay, so their affiliate is in Syracuse, New York. Now, San Jose organization has both the Barracuda and the Sharks in the same city. So what's the difference, do you think? Do you like that it's in the same city and you're down the hall basically from the Sharks?
Yeah, I think it's great. I think for us, having the ability to live in the same spot all year round, even if you're called up or sent down, I think having that consistency of living is nice. And also for us with the Barracuda, when you're down there and you have a lot of eyes on you, you got, Mike and his staff is always at our games, practices, and, it feels like you always have when you're on the ice, there's always someone watching. So it's, I think it makes everyone work a little harder and have that mindset that everyone's watching.
Yeah. So you have a closer connection then with everyone else because they're all right here watching you?
Right, yeah, I think so too. And I think also like hanging out with guys in the AHL or NHL, depending on what league you are, doesn't really matter. We're all right here. So, it's great.
Nice. For veterans getting traded from one team to another, it's got to be a little more difficult to have kids picking up their lives and new schools and everything else. For a younger guy, is it maybe more of an opportunity to just kind of see the country? I know you guys travel anyway for games, but...
Yeah, it is for sure. I mean, I've never been to California until I got traded. So, and then when we were playing in Syracuse, we were always playing like Eastern, North. Like, so getting the opportunity to travel around here and see every place, it's pretty cool. And it's we're obviously pretty lucky as hockey players to be able to do that.
How are the tough California winters?
Yeah, it's my first time having no winter, not seeing snow. So it's different. Some days I wish I could go back for maybe a couple hours, just see the snow and then move on. But no, I can't complain. The weather's great.
That's what Tahoe's for. We go visit the snow here. We don't have the snow.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. What's one of your favorite things to do around here locally?
Golf.
Yeah.
Golf's a big one.
Yeah.
I'm a big golfer. So anytime we have the opportunity to get out and play, I think that's something I try and do. And other than that, there's good food around here. So get some food in me and hang out with the guys. It's kind of pretty simple.
All right, what's your go-to spot for food?
Go-to spot? I think it's a great question. I like Pizza Antica on the Row.
Yeah.
I went there a few times. Mastro's or LB Steak for some good steak. So still learning all the spots, but there's a few great ones.
If you want some New York pizza and we're not affiliated with them, Bebo's Pizza is probably one of the best. It's in Willow Glen.
Okay, I'll give it a try.
That's my wife's from Boston, and she loves New York style pizza, and that's her go-to spot. So, it's a good spot.
All those two, I go to all those quite a bit. It's good.
Nice. Last question, we'll let you go. Thank you for giving us your time, by the way. Any strange rituals that you have pregame, or rituals maybe if you don't, that you've seen other people have?
Yeah, I think for me personally, I think a lot of guys say this, it's a routine more than a ritual. If I didn't do it, I don't think it would affect me too much, but I do the same thing every game. So it's one of those things. I think the craziest thing that I do, I don't know. I like to look around the room with my eyes before the game and kind of, I don't know, it makes me feel get more dialed into the game. So I always look around the room and get my eyes moving side to side or up and down. So that's one thing I do. I think probably a lot of goalies do that, but I don't know how many players would do that. So that might be something unique.
Interesting, yeah. I could see how that might dial you in for all the things you have to find on the ice that's happening all at once at very high speeds.
Yeah,
that is something that in the AHL players coming to the NHL, they say that right away the biggest difference is the speed of the game. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things, and the speed is obviously one thing, and the structure that the NHL has, and how quick things happen, and how quick you got to think. I think it's something that you got to be dialed in on every shift. Every time you go on the ice, you have to be looking around, and that helps me scan the ice and see where players are, and at least have a picture in my mind of where everyone is.
Nice. That was actually a really fun interview. I thought it was kind of funny, though, that he said how good he is at golf because playing for the Sharks right now, gonna have those opportunities.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Anyway.
He was a good guy. I liked him, and looking forward to seeing him more on the Sharks, and maybe as that right-handed shot defenseman, he'll be able to play some more minutes here. But really, really great personality, and not the cliche answers that you normally get out of hockey players. So a good interview.
Absolutely. And another really good personality and defenseman, actually, was the next interviewee here, Henry Thrun. So we had a chance to sit down with him again right after the same practice here. So enjoy this one. Okay, so we are joined now by Henry Thrun, defenseman for the San Jose Sharks. Actually, I can say that confidently now. You haven't played a single game with the Barracuda so far this season. Last season, you got some experience. I think probably pretty valuable for you.
Yeah, it's last year playing the AHL definitely did some good for me. It's a great league, and there's a lot of opportunity for development there. So spent I think 20-ish games down there, and felt like got to work with the staff down there and really hone in on some things I needed to improve on, and came back up and was ready to go, and haven't looked back.
Nice. And actually, I was going to ask it a little bit later on, but since you just brought it up, what are those things that is helping you stay where you are here in the NHL, and what are the feedback in terms of what you need to work on?
Yeah, I think last year there was a lot of emphasis on just kind of moving my feet and kind of recognizing just the pace of the NHL a little bit, and learning how to defend down low. So that was a big emphasis last year, and heading into the summer, trying to improve on just anything in the D zone, whether that be, closing guys out against the boards or working on breaking the puck out. So those were some big areas of emphasis for me that I felt I've made some good strides on sort of at the start of this year and kind of heading into this year.
So now I want to do the same thing I did with Jack Thompson. I'm going to go back a little bit more than a decade here. Okay.
Yeah.
I was looking up the stats and stuff for you guys before we started talking here, and I noticed that everybody who we're going to be talking to today went to the Brick Invitational, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So let's see. For you, you were in 2010, 2011 Boston Junior Bruins.
Yep.
The guy we haven't talked to yet, Collin Graf,
Yeah.
was on the 2011, 2012 Boston Junior Bruins.
Yep.
I know it's different birth years, but did you happen to know each other from the program?
I knew Collin. He actually played up against us, meaning our age group, just during AAA winter teams, and was from the same area as me. So yeah, I always knew who he was. Got to high school and college and still had played against him a handful of times. So someone that I've always kind of kept tabs on, always been a good player, and really kind of stepped into his game and started to really take off probably once he got to college, and has been growing and getting better ever since. Kind
of crazy that all three of you guys went to that same tournament. You guys all go your separate ways, and then you all kind of come back and you're playing with the Sharks now.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
Yeah, it's that tournament's pretty special and a really unique opportunity to go to as a player, and I was just fortunate to be able to do it, and it was definitely a lot of fun, a lot of great memories from there.
Nice. Cool. So you did go to Harvard, and you are from, is it Scarsboro? Southborough, Massachusetts.
Yep.
Sorry.
No worries.
Messed that up. So what did you major in at Harvard?
I was a double major, actually. I did econ and psychology.
Nice. And Are you going to go back and finish at some point?
I did finish.
Oh, you did finish.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Congratulations.
Thank
That's
you. I
awesome.
appreciate it.
That's
Thank you.
not a lot of things that people do these days. So.
Yeah.
So we were wrong. We guessed kinesiology. Anyway, fire
That's
away.
cool. Anyway, sorry. So, let's see. Okay, so I was going to ask you a question about last year you played with the Barracuda and the Sharks.
Yep.
And you had 51 games with the Sharks and 18 with the Cuda.
Yep.
At that point in your career, that was probably the most games you had played in 1 year.
Yeah.
So this year you're at 47 games. Now,
Okay.
we talk about this on the show a lot, how big of a change it is for you guys when you come from NCAA to AHL or even going straight to the NHL, playing that many games. Is it more physical or is it more mental or is it kind of a combination of both?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's definitely a combination. I think the physical side is probably the easier part just because I feel our whole lives we're kind of taught how to take care of ourselves, how to eat, how to rest, how to recover, how to work out. So that part is very, tangible and easy to kind of, make strides in. It's more the mental grind that I feel there's not as much practice or experience in. So I'd say just learning to handle the highs and the lows is definitely, I'd say at least for me, more challenging. It's a long season. It's especially as a younger player, there's a lot of times that maybe you can have some room for growth. So that's probably the more challenging part for me. But there's definitely an aspect to both. That's an adjustment coming from college hockey.
I think it's a lot harder for defensemen too because your mistakes are a little bit more noticeable than a forward's mistakes.
100%. Yeah. I mean, it's I always like to say if the forward makes a mistake, the D are there. If the D make a mistake, then hopefully the goalie's there. Yeah. So it's as you said, it's tough and it's a position that I think unless you're a high flying scoring defenseman, sometimes just playing a solid game where maybe you're not noticed all the time isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah. Okay. One last question here. We got this from somebody that we know. How do you like sitting next to Jack on the plane?
It's great. It's great. We have a lot of fun, a lot of laughs. Talk about anything from hockey to life to golf, kind of just whatever's on our mind. So he's a great kid. He's an awesome hockey player as well. So he's a lot of fun to kind of sit next to and just chop it up with for a little bit.
I like that you just called him a kid, by the way.
Yeah, right.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So like the two of you, kind of like how Macklin and Will are kind of buddy.
Macklin and Will are definitely attached at the hip. They're on a different level. But yeah, Jack's a great guy. Someone that since he's been traded here has enjoyed spending time with him and getting to know a little bit better. And hopefully we'll continue to grow together and be defensemen for this organization for a while.
You a big golfer like Jack?
We both are big golfers. He's definitely better than me.
Yeah.
I don't know many people that are better than him, to be fair.
Is he the best one, do you think?
I would say on the Sharks right now, yeah, he's the best golfer. Yeah. So he's a good player. I like to golf. I can't compete with him, but definitely an interest of mine, yeah.
And then what's your go-to spot for food around here?
I like... I would say on Santana Row, Mendocino Farms.
Yeah.
They make really good sandwiches. So on an off day, around lunchtime, you can usually find me there.
You call it Mendocino? Do you say Mendocino?
Mendocino.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
I defer to him. It's okay.
Yeah. East Coaster. Don't know.
Yeah, the East Coast. We have more Spanish names out here. The East Coast names are. My wife's from Watertown, and the pronunciations of some of those cities are just crazy.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Cool.
So, again, thank you so much for your time. As you can tell, again, also just came straight from practice. He didn't, but I'm glad that you didn't wear your skates. I'm only 5'7", so I can only look up so high, right? So appreciate your time. Thank you so much, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Henry, great guy. You're another great guy, another good interview. Now, are you a little disappointed you didn't ask him if he's a Star Wars fan?
Yeah. We had that written down, and I had a little strike through on that note because if I was going to say, hey, are you a Star Wars fan? And if he says no, then that kind of awkward and
Kills
just,
it, right?
Right? Yeah. But obviously, the loyal Fin Factor fans here know what we call him Grand Admiral Thrun. I wish I did actually ask him that one now, but it's too late for that one.
Too late.
So anyway.
Next one up, we had your favorite, one of your favorite players right now on the Sharks, and that is Collin Graf. Did you geek out a little bit on this one?
A little bit, I did, yeah. And it's funny because you'll see his excitement level not quite the same. I think he's just, again, right after the practice here. So, but yeah, definitely one of the guys that I am very much looking forward to seeing play for the rest of the season. I know he's back with the Barracuda right now. Again, the whole Four Nations thing is happening at the moment, so he's getting that opportunity to play with the Barracuda. But yeah, definitely one of my more favorite players, favorite prospects, you could say, to watch. So here's the interview with him. Okay, lastly, we are joined here by Collin Graf, forward for the San Jose Sharks. Collin, we've been following you since last season when you came over, and you've been playing with the Barracuda. Very impressive the way that you play the game. I love watching you play. Thank you. I'm going to go back. The same thing I said with the other two guys, I'm going to go back a little bit more than a decade here. Brick Invitational. I swear, I was looking this up, and I was like, okay, we're going to talk to these three guys, take a look around a little bit, and all three of you played in the Brick. And not only did three of you guys play in the Brick, you actually played against Jack Thompson.
Was he on pro hockey?
Yeah, he was on pro tour. Yeah,
that's funny. Yeah, super cool tournament. It's up in Edmonton. I saw you guys had Thrunner. He was a junior Bruin guy too. Yeah. So it's just sort of like everyone plays for their winter teams during the season, and then there's sort of a tryout at the start of the spring, and just sort of they select a team and go out there. It's in this huge Edmonton mall. It's like there's water park in it, there's a roller coaster in it. Like it's basically just for a kid, it's a vacation. There's a couple of games besides that. But I mean, there's, from thinking of our team, there's a lot of good players, a couple of guys in the NHL, a couple of guys drafted and played in college and hopefully getting there. So yeah, it's a fun tournament.
Yeah, for sure. So, and actually you brought up Henry Thrun. He was the year older, I guess, than you, but he had said that you always would play up that 1 year, so in AAA.
Yeah.
Out of your birth year, I mean.
Yeah, that was a little bit later. I would say by the Brick, you're what, 9, 10?
10, yeah.
Yeah. Probably, sorry.
No worries.
I think I'd played my age until about 15, 16, maybe 14, and that's when I started playing up. So that's when I started playing against Thrunner more. But yeah, I knew him a little bit just because you see guys around the rinks.
Yeah, okay. 33 games with the CUDA this season, 8 goals, 30 points. You got your first goal the other night. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I know the whole thing with your dad, we're not going to rehash that whole thing, but a pretty proud moment for you and your family.
Yeah, super exciting moment. It was super awesome that they were able to see it. They were really excited.
Awesome. What has the Sharks organization said about your play, and what's keeping you up with the Sharks right now?
Yeah, I think it was a little bit. It's a little bit different message each time after training camp. There was a couple things that they wanted me to work on, whether it was just playing faster and winning a couple more battles and stuff like that. And I really tried to make sure that I focused on that while I was down with the CUDA. And then when I got called up the first time, obviously played 10 games, so a good little stint there. And then when I got sent down then, it was a little bit different of a message. They liked my defensive side. They liked my plays along the wall. It was more of creating more offense. So then when I was down for a week and a half, 2 weeks, it was sort of just like talking and just making sure that I'm focusing on generating offense. I've been trying to do that right now, and I think that along with especially my penalty killing, I think has been taking a big step, and I've done a lot of that lately.
Now, like I said, it's been a joy watching you play the game. I've just been very excited ever since you decided you were going to be coming here. And actually, Aaron's going to take the next question. I think it's related, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So kind of like Dan Boyle, who went undrafted. Do you think you play with a chip on your shoulder because you were not drafted?
Yeah, I would say I did more than I do now. I think it's still there, but I think especially in college, like when you see the line charts and stuff like that, and guys have NHL logos next to their name, and you have nothing. I think that that's definitely a chip on your shoulder. I think that, once you get to the professional level, everyone's really good. So, I think you still always got to have that chip. I think it sort of shows up in different areas, whether it be staying out late to work on stuff, just like that work ethic that I think I've I guess gathered over the years, just trying to make sure that I'm always getting better. And I think that's sort of one of the things that I've kept on doing while I've been
That's a good motivational factor to get there.
Yeah.
Cool. And then because you were undrafted, you kind of got to choose where you wanted to go, because at that point you got contacted by multiple NHL teams. So what made you choose the Sharks over other teams? I don't know what the other teams were, and you don't have to get into it, but if you don't want to, but if you want to, sure. But
Yeah. So it was, I'm trying to think, after my sophomore year, there was some interest in signing a couple teams, maybe like two handful, like whatever that is, 6 or something. But I decided to go back. So I think that was a great decision for me. Like, got to get my degree in college, which my parents liked. Got to go to college another year, which is obviously a lot of fun. And my 2 line mates came back too, Jake Quillen and Sam Lipkin, and now they're in. Well, Quillen he was just up with the Leafs for a bit, and Lipper is actually here because 2 sons swim in the Barracuda, so I got dinner with him a couple nights ago.
Nice.
But yeah, we went back, and then sort of throughout that whole year, it was sort of just teams were just showing interest, and I sort of just let my agent handle it and try to play and focus on getting better and helping the team win and try to win another national championship. And I think that sort of just let my agent do a lot of the work behind the scenes and try to cut the looked at the prospects pools, looked at what the teams had, and sort of tried to figure out what made the most sense. So I would say once the season ended, I had Zoom calls with 5 or 6 teams, and it was sort of just me. By that point, like, they were all good opportunities. They were different, but they were all good. Like, that's what we decided. And then it was sort of just what I felt was the best one for me, and it was sort of just those relationships, those Boston ties, and I think that the Sharks definitely knew my game really well, and there was an opportunity here, so that's why I chose them.
that was going to be my next follow-up question, actually. It was the Boston ties. Did that play a part in it? Because Greer and now Warsofsky's here, and he was here last year as an assistant. Did that have any part of your decision in coming here?
Yeah, I definitely played a role for sure. I think Thrunner was reaching out to me last year too throughout the year, so that was someone that I knew just from skating with him in the summer and stuff like that. So yeah, for sure, a little bit.
And then do you think San Jose is becoming a destination point for other free agents now that they're kind of more on the up and up versus the tear down that they've been doing the last couple of years?
Yeah, I mean, I would hope so. I don't know if that's like, I don't think I have enough experience in free agency or stuff like that to like know what guys sort of want. But I would say, I mean, I chose here, so I mean, yeah, that's sort of like that's part of the reason why I'd say so. I'd hope that it's a destination spot for sure.
Is there a lot of excitement, maybe even just for you, with regard to the team being so young, coming out of rebuild, not going through it really? We're getting more players that are interested in coming here, going to be a better team. It's kind of weird to say that because they were in last right now, but you can see the trajectory. You see where it's going. Is there some excitement for you personally, having your foot in the door right now with this team, seeing where they can go in a very short amount of time?
Yeah, I mean, winning's the most important thing. I think that everyone plays to win, and that's sort of the reason that you play. And remember, junior it's a little bit different, but in college, like, when you win a lot of games, it's more fun. Like, it's just it's really the best way to describe it. And so yeah, just looking forward to some more wins.
Awesome. Okay, well, that was our interview with Collin Graf. Again, very excited watching you play for the past couple of seasons. I can't wait to see more of it. And yes, I absolutely hope that you're in Teal for a very long time. That is a personal desire right there. This guy's awesome. Yeah, so I thought it was very interesting when I was looking up on all 3 of these players, finding that they all had played in that Brick Invitational at one point or another, and 2 of them actually played against each other, which was just nuts.
It's crazy.
It really is, because it's a 10U tournament. It's so funny because they all meet in that one spot to play, and then they all go their separate ways, and then they all find their way back to San Jose, right? It's just pretty cool seeing the 3 of them and getting to talk with all 3 of those guys as well.
Yeah, I thought it was cool that he has a little chip on his shoulder for being undrafted. Interesting that the little NHL logo next to those starting lineups, and it's not there. That kind of gives you a little motivation, right? And then him choosing to come to San Jose and seeing the depth chart and seeing that he has a good opportunity here, which he is nailing, I think, out of the park. So I think another guy that we could see, especially with some trades coming up by the deadline, could possibly getting a lot more ice time with the San Jose Sharks and less with Barracuda.
Yeah, absolutely. Love having him on the team so far. Very much looking forward to seeing more of him in Teal. And I think the future is very bright, not just for these 3 players, But for the Sharks as an organization, these next few years, if you're not a fan, as we said, get on the bandwagon.
Do it.
What do you say? The bandwagon is big or something like that?
The bandwagon can hold everybody.
Yes, it holds everyone.
Jump on board.
Jump on. Very good. Okay, well, hopefully you guys enjoyed those interviews as much as we enjoyed giving them. So I guess that is the end of episode 239. We always say we're doing a short show. I think this might actually be the shortest show.
Longest, shortest show ever.
Very good. Super producer Jason's here, by the way. So there you go. Okay, folks. Hey, again, that was episode 239. We hope you appreciated that one and hope you enjoyed yourselves. So we will see you guys
Next week.
Bye-bye. Thanks for tuning in. If you like this episode, check out our other content, especially interviews. You can interact with us directly through social media at The Fin Factor and on Instagram at Fin Factor. And don't forget to join our live streams on YouTube.
Visit our website at thefinfactor.com, where you'll find all of our episodes as videos or podcasts. You'll also find our exclusive merchandise to help support our show.